just a reminder, this is nearing the end of our 24-hour Fin Mango extravaganza. So we're excited. We are coming to, we've had amazing speakers, and I just feel so honored to get to introduce the final one for West Africa. So thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, Bradley.
So great to see you.
Thank you for me.
Yeah, we just introduced you.
Good to see you.
You have so much experience, and we're just so looking forward to hearing your story. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Bradley. I'm very honored to participate in this extravaganza conference. My name is Wilfried Dabire. Yeah. I'm from Côte d'Ivoire, and the managing director of Full Evasol Company, based in Côte d'Ivoire and Togo. And we are specialized in the distribution of all types of soil, chemical products, and agri-food products such as yellow corn, cashew nuts, and rubber. Apart from my professional career, I'm also the first organizer of these conferences in Lomé, Togo, in which we bring brilliant speakers from Togo and all around the world to share their personal and professional experiences and achievements with our audience. We decided to value ideas worth spreading. Along with more than 8 years in the aviation industry, like a flight attendant, I decided to change my career and become an entrepreneur. To my mind, entrepreneurship can really be a way to transform Africa. Indeed, one of the major problems in Africa is unemployment. Africa's population is not only young, it is growing very fast. But the large number of children is not a blessing for families. Economic growth in many countries cannot keep up. Poverty is on the rise. The belief that children act as a life insurance in old age is still widespread and is making the demographic situation worse. The population in Africa is expected to nearly double from 1.3 billion to 2.5 billion by 2050. Let's take the example of Niger, one of the poorest countries located in West Africa. It has the highest birth rate and will triple its population by 2050. However, there is a lack of appropriate infrastructure, healthcare, access to hospitals, education, and jobs for these people. Despite waning infant mortality, the average birth rate of 4.7 children per woman remains high when compared with the rest of the world. How can the government of Niger or all the other countries in West Africa tackle this challenge? Education is very important, but financial education is paramount. Women and children, especially girls, are very important in the development of the continent. Keeping girls in school encourages them to have fewer babies at a later stage in their lives. Education is a decisive factor for a decline in births. The longer girls go to school, the older they are by the time they get married, the study found. They have higher expectations for their future and contribute more to the family's income. Education is precisely what initiates the change in traditional models, which are often co-determined by religion. A high number of children is often still a must for African parents, dependent on them in old age, and also because they need the help to work the field. In order to chart a new path for the future employment prospects of today's youth, we need to acknowledge the reality on the ground. We need to go beyond the current roadmap of the SDGs to improve sub-Saharan Africa's future socio-economic prospects. Africa will need to prioritize preparing young people for opportunities in both the formal and the informal sectors of the growing economy. The vast majority of children will have to find employment in agribusiness, small businesses, and self-employment. In order to improve the chances of success, we need to listen and be inclusive. Children and young people have a critical role to play in achieving sustainable development goals and are at the center of development. Young people need to understand their rights as well as their responsibility and should participate in the decision-making processes, including the political agenda of the countries. They also have an important voice that needs to be central to the debate about the future they will ultimately live in. As agents of youth development, we have a responsibility to listen to them and to let their ambition, not our own interpretation of what they should do, drive the decision-making process. Children and young people not only need to know how to read and write, they need to be equipped with the right skills. That means raising a financially literate and a socially empowered generation to become successful entrepreneurs who are able to scale up profitable ideas and hire other young people when opportunities arise. Empowering children and young people to take control of their own situation is key. Research has shown that young people are more able to build self-esteem, make informed financial decisions, and thrive in the future when they have a good grasp of life skills such as self-awareness, social connectedness, creative thinking, and problem solving. Life skills such as these are vital as young people explore and enter the world of work and seek formal and informal employment. They also need to understand money, how to obtain it, use it, grow it, and live off it. They need to be educated, inspired, and motivated to take the risk to venture into the world of entrepreneurship to create job opportunities in the local and global economies. In fact, many young people that have left school are already entrepreneurs, but on a subsistence level. Beyond just ensuring access to quality basic education for all, Africa's school system needs to emphasize work readiness, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship in order to produce graduates who can compete with the global workforce. We need to equip our youth with the skill sets and technical know-how that they will require to be employed or become successful entrepreneurs. Governments will have to review their education curricula. Many governments, in fact, in West Africa, have developed in recent years national youth strategies and multi-sectoral action plans, often coordinated by newly formed Ministry of Youth. The reality, however, is that most national plans are an aggregation of vertical sectoral programs which are poorly funded, hampering the required action to create an enabling environment and opportunities for young people to start work on enterprises. Future youth policies and programs should prioritize improving productivity and incomes for young people by increasing access to credit and support a friendlier business environment for youth. For this to be successful, the enormous opportunities of innovations available in the world today should be fully utilized, which should include providing access to reliable internet. Multiple civil society actors, including donors, international and local NGOs, already invest immeasurable time and resources in the youth development agenda. Yet, these efforts remain uncoordinated and fragmented, thus achieving minimal impact in the long run. The private sector in West Africa should play a bigger role. It has significant influence and a crucial role to play in promoting economic development and, most importantly, in supporting youth skills development. As a future employer, the private sector can provide internship opportunities aimed at equipping youth with essential work readiness skills that can help them thrive in the global job market. The private sector can also provide volunteer mentor opportunities and expertise to emerging young businesses while simultaneously providing market linkages and opportunities to young startup enterprises. At the same time, it can support the implementation of financial literacy and entrepreneurship programs by providing the much needed in kind and financial resources as an investment to civil society actors. The road to development in Africa and West Africa is paved with pilot projects that never see the light of scale, primarily driven by donor appetite that prioritize innovation over replication. Long-term pilots are not always great investments. Rather, an emphasis should be placed on identifying and documenting successes and lifting, shifting and customizing the elements that determine success. All actors have a collective responsibility to work together to tap into the great opportunity children and young people have. Nations should reconfigure their national youth plans into social contracts which go beyond the traditional ministries of youth, health, social welfare, and education. Youth development policy making is often informed by an understanding of the current realities versus future visions. Policies and practices need to factor in a fast-changing world, including opportunities for youth in a wide range of sectors, from agro-entrepreneurship to digital entrepreneurship. Investing in the next generation will not only be fulfilling the rights or increasing democratic value in society, it will optimize economic performance. Investing in opportunities for children and young people will mitigate the youth bulge and yield a demographic dividend. It will minimize the potential for socio-economic instability that usually accompanies high youth unemployment, idleness, and restlessness. If we can make these changes, we can begin to paint different pictures of Africa's city streets, in which the commercial activities of all players, from hawkers to consumers, from carpenters, mechanics, taxi drivers, tailors, masons to estate agents, is elevated, scalable, profitable, transparent, formalized, valuable, and perceived in a way that contributes to both personal wealth creation and accelerated national growth. It's a cliche to say that children are our future, but of course it's true. The decision made by children and adolescents influence the development of societies, and that effect will only strengthen as they become fully fledged social and economic actors. If societies are to flourish, young people must be prepared for success. Today, when we ask young adults in sub-Saharan Africa what educational course will benefit their lives the most, the majority responded with money management. Any adult readily grasps the importance of financial literacy, but how well are we prepared?